Altoona Sicilian came along, which is the original Altoona Hotel.
Right.
And Scott, they come from all over for that.
It's kind of unusual. The restaurant does not open on the weekends.
What kind of pizza shop are you that's closed on Saturdays and Sundays? And I look them straight in the eyes. It's a very blessed one.
Today's conversation is with the owners of 29th Street Pizza Subs and More. About a year ago, I moved back home from Florida, and while I was in Florida, somebody sent me a picture of this pizza, the Altoona pizza. They joked around, they said, everybody in your hometown eats it like this, and I said, I'd never seen that before in my life. So when I moved back up here, I had to investigate the pizza that I'd never heard of, and I walked into their place, 29th Street Pizza Subs and More, and Steve was one of the nicest people I've ever met. He accommodated me, he answered my questions. I just shot a quick video on my cell phone with a back and forth of us, and I put together a short video. And I always wanted to go back because I had the feeling there was more to the story. And so today's conversation is with Steve and Steve.
Cokrlic. It's spelled very C-O-K-R-L-I-C. It was a Serbian Orthodox name that got chopped down. It was like Cokrlic. And they chopped it and they left the R away from the K.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up on 16th Street and 7th Avenue. And they tore down those homes back in '69. And my parents got the biggest break that they ever had because they got more for the house and the land for what it was worth.
Oh, nice.
And I came from an area that didn't have a lot, but it had a lot of good character people, and you had fun playing all kinds of different sports outside.
Yeah.
You were busy all day.
What was the elementary school near there?
It was Old Penn Lincoln, which I went to my first grade year. Then they built Penn Lincoln, which I went to from 2nd grade to 6th.
Okay. And then junior high?
It was Roosevelt Junior High.
Not there anymore?
Not there anymore.
Yeah. I went to Keith, so I was a Ram.
Yeah. We were Rough Riders back then.
Yeah. That was a big rivalry.
I'm a little prejudiced. I think Roosevelt won the last meeting.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was neat because when I was growing up, they had Logan Junior High also.
I didn't even, what is that?
Yeah, that's
new to
Logan
me.
Elementary down there now.
Okay.
You know, down by Greenwood Road. And, you know, they were very competitive. So it made 3 junior highs battling.
Wow.
And it was great. What was neat was you competed against these guys, or girls, you know, if it was girls. But then when you went to the Altoona High School, you all became friends.
Yeah, right.
And there was a large selection of athletes coming from each junior high.
Speaking of history, when I first came in here last year and I wasn't sure what to expect, this was the first thing that struck me when I walked in here was the history on your walls. Can you talk a little bit about why that's there? What was important about showcasing Altoona's history?
I had a gentleman that we became very good friends with, and his thing was collecting old pictures. He said, "Would you want any to hang up on your walls?" I says, "I would love them." And he brought a lot from my old neighborhood that I grew up in, but he also brought a ton of pictures that really our customers, which is our friends, they love looking at these old pictures.
Yeah.
And they'll ask me, "Hey, do you remember this?" And it'll be like back in the 1800s. I'll try to. I've been educated on some of the pictures through some customers.
Yeah.
This is what this is, and it's neat because when people are waiting for their food and we're very busy, this seems to keep them occupied.
Yeah.
I love Altoona. I love the community. So seeing these old pictures, they bring back a lot of memories. And like I said, I love the community.
Yeah. Can you talk about what you remember, I guess, growing up in Altoona, what it was like for you?
I'm 68. I graduated in 73. I remember downtown being awesome. Like that picture there.
Yeah.
They have some pictures of there's downtown with all these old cars and that. I mean, before the malls came in, that was the place to go to get your clothes or whatever you needed.
Yeah.
And downtown was just something else back in the day.
At a certain point, it sort of evaporated, I guess. I heard because of, you know, Logan Valley Mall, that sort of thing. It was just the commerce sort of left downtown. Do you remember that?
I do,
Yeah.
and it was very sad. But now, you know, and I got to give a lot of credit to Center City Church and Chris Cook.
Yeah.
He deserves a lot of kudos because they were sticking their neck on the line. And there's a lot of good people at Center City Church, and they love the city.
Yeah.
Or they want to put their church in the middle of the city.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll drive through. If I got to mail a letter, I don't need to go through all of downtown, but I want to do it.
Yeah.
Just to look around and think, wow, this was a dead dinosaur that looked like it never was going to do anything.
Yeah.
Like it'd seen its days and that was it. And now it's a good film. It's going to be fully bloomed someday. And I got to give a shout out to that church and Chris Cook.
Crosstown, we're at your establishment, and then what led up to this?
Scott, it's funny, and the story behind it's awesome. I mean, I've been wanting to do this since 1988. Maccabees opened up a store, a shop up by my house.
Yep.
And I remember telling my mother, who was not in the greatest health, and my sister, who was like a chef, why didn't we buy that place? We could have made it work. Well, to make a long story short, that was 88. I came to the Lord in 04.
Yeah.
We bought this place in 05. I remember looking at it in the middle of the night. We came home from a Christian concert, and I told my wife, I said, let's go look. She said, it's 11 o'clock. Make a long story short, it's 2 o'clock, and she agrees to go look at it. I says, honey, this block is awesome. They used to walk their band down here with 500 students to the ball games. They're not doing that now, honey.
Yeah.
But I do know the neighborhood. The neighborhood is an awesome neighborhood. And as much as I love my neighborhood, this is home. These people, they gravitated to us. They wanted a store.
My parents always wanted to open something up, but they never had the chance to.
Yeah.
Whether it was money or whether it was just the urge to do it. And all of a sudden they just decided, let's do it. Let's go for it. Back in 2004, it opened up in 2005.
And why I wanted to do it, when I was a young man, I'd see these store owners, they would encourage people. They would encourage a young kid. You wanted to go into that store because they knew your name and they made you feel good.
Yeah.
And I sort of wanted to bring that to the table. I wanted to make sure what was coming out of my mouth was encouraging words.
Yeah.
And even if it was a gloomy day, you know what? It's not that bad. It's we're into December. Hey, I'm not going to let the weather dictate my mood.
Yeah.
We had fun.
Yeah.
And the good Lord's had his hand on our business from day one.
Yeah.
You know, I was 50 years old when we opened up, and I'm thinking, geez, Lord, what do you have me, what's the journey going to be like here to us? And I tell you what, Scott, I'm in awe of what this little place and how he has provided and the friendships that we made. It's all about relationships. I'd tell my wife, I says, honey,
How was your Thanksgiving? Good?
it's not all about, we need to provide for our family.
Any drinks, buddy? Do we have a Dallas Cowboy fan here?
He's a good guy.
He's okay.
But money is not going to be an idol with us.
Yeah.
And the relationships that we will have built, that is going to be very powerful.
You just develop a friendship, and I've been coming here for like what, 10 years now.
It's a very warm place to walk into. You're greeted with smiles. I think, would you call it hidden? Would you say it's like an unknown or a lesser known gem?
It's a gem, man. You know what? I used to say we're a little unknown. It would make my wife so mad. We're not a little unknown no more.
Yeah.
And she's right, but we are off the beaten path. Mm-hmm. And the Christian community has really supported us, different churches. Yeah. And once they're in, Scott, I think they know that, hey, we thank the young kid that just bought $1 soda. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, dear. Thank you kindly. But we thank the young kid who just spent his last 50 cents or $1 in here. And we want that kid to come back. And if that kid needs encouraged in any kind of way, we want to make sure we're doing our job. We want to live right and just do what God wants us to do. Just try to be kind.
Yeah.
You know, not try, be kind.
Yeah. It's kind of unusual. The restaurant does not open on the weekends, but that was a priority for you as far as family time.
Yes, sir.
Can you talk a little bit about?
Absolutely. I'd have guys coming in here and they would say, what kind of pizza shop are you that's closed on Saturdays and Sundays? Then you stop serving food at 6:30. And I'll put my head down and there'll be a line of people and I'll kind of pause a little bit and I'll look them straight in the eyes. It's a very blessed one. Because we twiddled our thumbs for 2 years, wondering.
It was slow. The first few years, it was slow. We had groceries in here. There was, we sold different things and just had like 4 or 5 subs, and that was it.
Was there ever a point where you're like, I don't know if this is going to happen or not?
You know, Scott, I held on to my Sheets warehouse job for 11 and a half years. 9 and a half was while I was running this business. Mm-hmm. Then I had a second one up on 19th Street and 6th Avenue. And it got to be a time when, yes, I didn't have any doubt that I never felt like, hey, let's close up and think. But anybody who gets into this business, they better have some money set aside.
Yeah.
I kept on my job because it was a security blanket. Mm. And I felt like the Lord was telling me, haven't I provided for you? Why so little faith? Mm. And I told my boss at work, I told him before I even took a break, I want to make sure I'm making the right decision. And he spoke some words to me like, Steve, I think some people are meant to have jobs. I think some are meant to work for themselves. I think you're at that point. And when I heard those words, haven't I provided and why so little faith, I knew.
It just opened up.
I knew deep in my mind the good Lord wasn't going to lead me into something that I was going to fail at. Yeah. He knew I had something to do. And this was it. We made so many good friends.
Hanging in there. Doing good, buddy. Another week, huh?
I don't call them customers. I know the majority of them by name. Mm-hmm. And hey, if I needed something from one of them or if they needed something from us, we would go out of our way and do it.
Yeah.
Every single year, we would add something, add more to the menu. Pizza, added the pizza, added the grill with the cheesesteaks.
We didn't have the grill, we didn't have the deep fryer, we didn't have the pizza ovens, but we had a bunch of good stuff like homemade meatball, homemade pulled pork, salads. Then the next thing you know, we get the hood. We get the deep fryer. And
see, from where it was before to now, it's I couldn't imagine how.
So we've been blessed. I mean, I thank the good Lord. My wife thinks I'm a little kind of wimpy at times because when I talk about Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, I will get very sentimental about it. I'll let her know, honey, did you honestly think it was going to turn into this? Yes, I did, because I had faith. And I had a beautiful wife that put in 14 hours a day at times. And she was the rock of this business. Our first pizza oven, Scott, was an electric one that fit one pie in there.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to make a bundle with a pizza oven like that. Then we were blessed with a regular pizza oven, and the Altoona Sicilian came along, which is the original Altoona Hotel.
Right.
And Scott, they come from all over for that.
Seattle, Washington, California, Texas, Florida, all over, out of Canada. We have different bands that will come through. Rock bands will come through and they'll stop here because they heard about it on the internet. Kids from out of country, Penn State kids that are passing through. Whether they're no people from Penn State, they're passing through and they'll stop. I mean, we probably get 2 to 3 different families or people that come through here a week that are from other states.
It is very humbling. I mean, it's almost hilarious too.
Yeah.
And I've had a young kid coming in here. He's there, Steve, I find it hilarious. He's there, two of your tablefuls are from Pittsburgh for the Altoona Hotel. He said, now a group from Johnstown came in. I looked at him, I says, you find it hilarious. I find it, I can't believe it.
It's now world famous, but for somebody that is living under a rock and doesn't know what the Altoona Hotel pizza is, could you describe it to them?
Absolutely. It's a Sicilian, a little thicker pizza with yellow cheese, and underneath the yellow cheese, it's sauce. We put Genoa salami underneath it. The original, I believe, put cooked salami underneath it, and some green peppers. And we really fill our whole pie up with a bunch of meat. Minnelli family, I think they're the first ones that started it back in the maybe 50s, 60s. And a beautiful family. I know the one son. We had a kid that worked there for a couple years, and he showed us the ropes on it.
Okay.
And we have a great dough, and we really do it well.
Yeah.
And it's mind-boggling that as much notoriety that we've gotten from it, we'll have people almost every day coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
I had an older gentleman, 85 years old. He came in. I came in from Pittsburgh. He said, "Give me one piece of Altoona."
At least if you're going to drive that far, take some home for others to try. Maybe, I don't know.
Take 10 cuts with you.
Yeah.
He said, "Well, I want to make sure I like it." I says, "Well, why don't you sit here and eat a piece? I'll give you the 10 cuts if you don't have the money, and you next time you're in town, you can take care of that."
Where did you learn to make food?
You know what? I tell my wife all the time, I was making the attaboy. She says, "Well, what do you have in that?" I told her hamburger, sausage, bacon, mild peppers, cooked in, grilled mushrooms. That's disgusting. I says, "You know what, honey? I know what men like." Now, I'm not saying this is going to be on a menu. Well, our water department guys came in, and they ordered 3 of them. Mm-hmm. And she said, "Oh, we'll name it the Steve Special." I says, "No." I says, "We'll see what happens." The next day they came in, they ordered 10 of them.
Wow.
I says, "I know what we're going to name it, honey, the Attaboy. And when we get 10 of them, honey, instead of saying 10 Attaboys, I want you to say Attaboy, 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 because I don't get many of those from you." But that's the story behind that sandwich.
Appreciate you. Always, buddy.
My son's on the deed now.
I've been here about 12 years now, and it's just been an awesome journey, you know. But Never thought I would get into food, but
Yeah.
here we are today, you
Yeah.
know, and it's just been awesome. Just love the customers, just love the interaction with people, and just love giving back to the business.
He'll be taking over. We're equal partners,
Yeah.
along with my wife, and he'll be running things. I'm praying that it's as good to him the next 20 years as it was to us the first 18, 19 years. So, you know what? When you get to work with your best friend, your wife, she just retired, but she comes in 2 days a week for 15 years, and then we're still working together. And I've been with my son he's been here from actually day one. He had jobs,
Yeah.
but he'd come in here when we'd ask him, hey, would you want to work? Yeah, I'll work. You know, so it don't get any better than that.
Hey, how you doing?
I would love to do something with you, work with you on something. I'm in my life now, 68, where I just pray he keeps me healthy. I want to hang around as long as I'm having fun. I know he can take over now. He has the workforce now that it would go.
Yeah.
But
We have a business here, we're making money, but it's more than that. It's connecting with people on an everyday basis and running into certain people that you just have that connection to. It's just a lot of stories.
everyone feels at home when they come in. If we're touching a life, it's with kind words and some encouragement.
Altoona is awesome. It's just an awesome city. I mean, I grew up here. It's just a great town. I love it. I love Altoona.
It's a great little town. We love the community. We love Altoona.